By taking this course, you will describe the functionality of the operations console, describe the staging, UAT, and production environments, demonstrate the process to move a project from development to production. The Operations Console provides an interface in which you can manage your development process. You can push changes from staging to UAT and production. On the next slide, we'll talk about each of the environments you'll work with. First, production. This is where your company does its work within Service Manager. This is where your analysts log in and self-service users see the interface. Staging is the environment where everything within production is originally designed. Let's say that you bring on a new department and you need to add in some new service requests or even an entire new set of business objects. You would build those in staging. Last is the UAT environment. This is where you can then test everything that you have developed in staging. For the best results, you would refresh this environment to match production before pushing changes from staging. You then can test all your prior and newly built processes to ensure that everything works when applied to a copy of production. This test is critical to ensure that nothing goes wrong when you push changes to production. Let's briefly look at the architecture now. The Operations Console can only be installed on one server, and the best place is on the application server that hosts staging. Normally, your partner or consultant will set this up. If you're self-implementing, there's a guide for the Operations Console available at help.ivanti.com. You can see how your system is set up by clicking the System Status page within Ops Console. You can see all of the servers and tenants that are configured. For more detail, to make changes when needed, and to test connectivity with your setup, you can also click the Landscape tab. Next, let's take a look at an example of how to use the Operations Console. Let's look at an example now of using the Operations Console. Matt needs to create a new business object called Reservations. He'll first create the business object in the staging environment and then move it to UAT for testing, and then push the changes to production once everything is working. In the staging environment now, we've clicked Projects and can see Matt has created a project called New Reservations. This project has the necessary forms, fields, and workflows in the business object. This project can then be added to a new package called Reservations. We see everything included within Transaction Set. If you're unfamiliar with the process to create a project or package, be sure to take the Projects and Packages course. Since a package has been created, we can now push this package over to the UAT environment for testing. Be sure that the package is incremental type and set to open in case we have more tweaks after it's tested in UAT. Click Save. To do that, we'll open the Ops Console. We'll click here on Apply Package on the arrow between Staging and UAT. Don't forget to ensure that UAT is a fresh copy of production. That will then open the package selection page. We can see that the source package then shows up here. A couple of things to be aware of on this screen. First off, you will not want to skip Target Tenant Backup unless you know that UAT has been recently backed up. Next, Matt will check Validate and Apply if no errors, which is the default. This will be the best choice in most cases. We'll click Execute. After a few moments, we see the message that the package has been applied successfully. If we come over to the UAT environment, we see that Business Object Reservations appears now. We'll click into it to see what it looks like. It looks like all the changes are here. We can now test all of these to ensure everything is working before pushing it into production. Then, back on the Operations Console homepage, we can click Apply Package to push the package into production. However, the package selection page notifies us that there are no closed packages available. A step was missed. Back in staging now, we can click Close Package. That will allow this package to be pushed. We'll then go back to the Operations Console. Reservation is now visible as a source package. We can click Execute to allow this new package to be pushed up into production. Remember, only select Skip Tenant if you have made a backup just now. Otherwise, keep it unselected. That package executed and is now in production. Bat checks in production and everything showed up. That's it. Bat has now successfully tested and moved these changes into production.